addiction. It's
Yeah.
like it's I don't know. I learned a lot. Like in that, like I said, like everybody is an addict in this world. It's just like different spectrums of it, right?
Yeah,
You know,
and
like
and
my
it's
dad's into gambling big time, and that's destroying his life. And there's nothing we can do about it. It's not visible. It's just
there's
like
see, and there has to be. It's because we. I personally think it's because we wage slave. We work hard for a living, and we need an escape, from just working and doing nothing, right? Really, that's what it seems like. You work, you raise kids, and you do nothing other than that, right? And it's everybody's doing the same thing, so everybody's trying to find a way to get away from it, and a little bit of excitement, something to make
mm,
their heart beat a little bit, and that's what it seems like it is.
it's just human nature.
Yeah,
We get obsessive with shit, you know, and it's like it's everybody has that disease of the mind,
yeah,
and it's just a different DOC.
yeah.
And some of them are more socially acceptable, and they make us feel like outcasts for having
That's
drugs as a
exactly what it
problem.
is.
Like, oh, if a doctor prescribed it, that's not a problem, but
This,
it's the
that's,
same fucking thing
it's
as
exactly
what
what
we're
I've
getting on
said.
the
A
streets now.
doctor can give me Oxycontin and it was just fine, right? And then I became an addict to it, right? But it's because it was a prescription, it's okay.
Yeah,
But because I'm now buying it off the street because they've taken it away, you know, um, it's and the doctor, they want honesty, right? So I give them honesty. I tell them, if I I had three fractured vertebrae in my back, and I was in pain. So I asked him for painkillers, and he said I was showing signs of addiction. So he says no, and now I'm red flagged on my profile, so I can't get anything there at all for that. So and I'm not one of those people that's addicted to opiates to just nod out and just escape the world emotionally. I'm trying to get away from it, get away from the pain, right? And and just because I want to get away from the pain, the doctor says no, it's addictive signs, so no, can't do anything for you, right?
hmm
And I think it's pretty stupid. You know,
it's a human right, man. Like we learned that in school for nursing. Like everyone has the right to not be in pain and to
yeah,
not suffer. You know what I mean? And if no one's willing to help you, you're obviously going to not want to suffer. You're going to take that into your own hands.
yeah,
You know, and unfortunately, it's cheaper to get and stronger to get this stuff on the street than
yeah,
it is to go get a doctor. Without any insurance, you're fucked. Like
yeah.
you can't afford that.
No,
You know, and it's
yeah,
the exact same thing.
with what I get monthly right now. I can barely afford to get somewhere to live if I did get somewhere to live, and that's like one. There's nowhere to find to live here, but if I found somewhere, and every now and then that does happen, I can find somewhere, but it costs everything I have,
Yeah.
and if it costs everything I have to have a roof over my head, then I can't afford to maintain my addiction, which I need to not be in pain. Like, what's the
And you
point of having
can't
a
be
roof?
sick either.
Right,
What are you gonna do all day sick, man?
right, exactly,
Yeah.
right. I have a roof over my head, but I'm sick, or I don't have a roof over my head and I'm not sick, right? Like it's
So it's not
it's
really a decision. It's not really a choice. You know,
that's exactly,
it's the problem.
and then my stepdad and my mom and my mom, they're convinced it's my life, it's my journey, it's my choice, and yeah, it's my choice, but my choice to do what, right? To do what? To be sick or to have a roof over my head and
Mhm.
go get a job again, and and the troubles that I've had on the streets, like my teeth didn't fall out from drug use and lack of maintenance. I had perfect teeth. My teeth are gone because somebody smashed them out with a pipe while I was asleep. There's a lot of bad crap that happens out here, man.
Yeah, no, I saw you. Well, you have defense mechanisms are ready to go, and where you were sleeping there
Yeah,
overnight.
you know.
You have a golf
Like
club
the golf club
and
is
a
is
knife.
is a cane because had a guy chop me up with a machete 18 times. He chopped me up from behind with a machete there, and then I had to walk 45 minutes across town to the hospital to be sewn back together.
And
Oh
was this another person living on the street?
yeah,
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 just a disagreement or what?
yeah. He was having psychosis.
Psychosis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Man, okay, I need to get this like formally started. I love that you just got right into it, man.
oh yeah,
Well, Just to be formal, man, like you just start with your name and
My name's Devin,
yeah.
Devin Montgomery, and
It's nice to meet you, Devin.
yeah,
Yeah.
same.
How old are you, man?
I just turned 48.
Okay. And
So
like, where are you from?
um, well, that depends. I moved a lot my whole life,
Yeah.
but I was born in BC. I was born in Kamloops.
Yeah.
But I grew up in Toronto, in inner city Toronto. And every summer I'd fly to BC to live with my dad and my stepmom. And then I'd fly back to Toronto and live with my mom and my stepdad during the year, go to school. The one thing I did right was graduate high school. You
Hmm.
know, at least I did that. And then,
Good for you, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then I got a class one and had a good job for a while, but it seemed like the higher up the food chain I got, the more stressful it got, the more the more responsibility I got, more I needed to alleviate that stress. So I started partying a little bit, and that was what it was. Still, it was okay, but then there was a mechanical malfunction with the truck in a blizzard that came out of nowhere out in Halifax, and I caused the truck to roll.
Yeah.
And when it rolled the truck, that's when I fractured my back,
Oh yeah.
and my boss blames me in every way. And I had recorded phone calls that proved that it was not my fault, and I had a video of it and everything. But still got fired, lost my job, and
You went through like WCB and all that stuff.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And then
It's a nightmare.
yeah, it's just brutal. And then you end up with a doctor prescribing you physiotherapy when you're healing and you're getting better, but you're in a lot of pain. So you got painkillers that they're giving you and everything else, and and that's great and all until all of a sudden they take them away, take everything away, and say you're good now, right? You don't need these anymore, and then you realize that, like I said, OxyContin it was designed to be really addictive,
Yeah.
and they gave it away as non-addictive. Like
Yeah. That's how they got people to push them so hard on the population. Was It's a less addictive version
yeah,
of morphine, right?
yeah.
Which was all BS.
Yeah, it said. Well, they were even giving doctors were giving out free samples of it or free prescriptions of it to people in midwestern U.S. towns that have no work and people are depressed and they gamble and drink and stuff. And they were calling it a wellness pill, an antidepressant, and it said, and that's where I learned that they were saying it was a 9% addiction rate, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's a nice little misprint, 9%, right? 99.9% addiction rate.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Yeah.
there's people that have beat it, but like they end up with some other addiction to replace that addiction, right? There's no matter what, you're not escaping an addiction. Like you're,
Especially if you're still in pain,
oh
you
yeah,
know. Yeah.
yeah.
Hey man, I'm just gonna go a little deeper here. Like, what was your childhood like?
My childhood was interesting. Um, I moved a lot.
Yeah. How
Because
come?
because it was either living with my mom and my stepdad or my dad and my stepmom. So like I said, going back and forth across the
Yeah.
country. That was just for living. But then my stepdad got his education done and became a teacher. So then we moved from Toronto to Alberta, and moved to a northern a northern reservation town, where they were teaching, and I lived there for about 3 years, and then went and lived with my dad and my stepmom in Port Hardy, and got shipped there for half of grade 11, and then moved with them down to Courtney, for the other half of grade 11, and then moved back to my mom and my stepdad's to go to back to Toronto for a bit of grade 12, and then moved out here to Kimberley to finish grade 12.
Hmm.
Like I went to school after school after school.
Always a new kid.
Always a new kid,
Yeah.
and first thing you got to do as a new kid is getting into fights, and you got to prove yourself. You got to earn your spot. And
Especially our generation.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and so I still graduated, and as soon as I graduated, I went up north to Dawson Creek. I lived with my grandmother, went to work in the oil field, and did that for a little while, and um, that's when I first really started doing drugs.
So you're an adult when you actually started
Yeah,
using
well,
drugs.
no, just before I graduated high school, there was still some drugs there,
Yeah.
and it was first it was weed and alcohol, and then there was cocaine, and then there was crack.
So like right out of high school.
Yep,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it just just one thing led to the next to the next to the next, right?
Especially in the oil field, man. Like
Yeah,
coke and crack are just
there's
so predominant.
well, and with weed being illegal at that time, and you get pee tested every time you come back from your days off.
Hmm.
You're not gonna. It takes 28 days to get weed to start to get out of your system. It only takes 72 hours for cocaine to get out of your system.
Yeah, that's
So
why everybody just jumps ship and goes to coke,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
Hard drugs, you can keep your job. If
yep,
you smoke pot, you're fired so
yeah,
quickly.
that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, just because you smoke pot,
Hmm.
and you're not high, but it's still in your system. So they,
It's that's a problem when it comes to the laws that are in place and like drug testing. It's you're only catching the honest potheads.
yeah,
You're not catching the lying crackheads, man.
no, no.
And that's where the real problem is.
Yeah. So what do you do, right?
You do like everyone else.
You end up partying,
Yeah, yeah,
partying with the harder drugs.
yeah.
Yeah.
What was your relationship with your parents, your caregivers, man? You said your stepdad and
Well,
stepmom.
so I had my dad, my stepmom, and my mom and my stepdad. I got a good relationship with my mother, and I had a good relationship with my father and my stepmother. My stepfather, and me, we never really connected, and that was his choice to not be around
Just be
me.
distant. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was weird too. It was like, you know, um, whenever it was just me and him, I'd hear about, I don't understand your mother and this and that. It was almost like a lot of negative talk about my mom, right? And I'm pretty sure when I wasn't there and it was just him and my mom, there's probably a lot of negative talk about me, right? It was almost like he was trying to drive a wedge between me and my mother, almost like he was, like jealous of our relationship, right?
Hmm.
And one time he says to me, and this is a few years ago, just before he kicked me out of the house. Told me I can't be there at all. Like I can't even go to the house. And that was he says, you know, you quit calling me dad at one point there and started calling me by my name while I was at. And I said, well, because the only time we were around each other, it was we were doing your things, like your drama classes. You were my teacher, or you were doing your after school drama thing, or I was helping you deliver pop on Saturdays when you were still going to school and stuff like that. That's the only time we were around each other. But you never came out and asked me what I was doing when I was working on my car or anything like that. And he said, well, that stuff didn't interest me. Well, I didn't choose to be your stepson. You chose to be my stepfather when you married my mother, right? So it's your job to come to me, right? You want to be a father figure, you come to me. I don't come to you and go, you can be my father, right? And I was told I had to call you dad. You didn't even earn that, right? You know what I mean? So
That's a little fucked up.
yeah, and he demands respect and this and that, and he probably deserves it. Like, he made sure we had a roof over our head, and we always had food and stuff like that. But he went to his family for help when it was needed, and he still maintains that he did it all on his own and stuff like that. And he had his own rough childhood growing up, I'm sure, but like I said, he chose to marry my mother, and I just happened to be part of the package, you
Yeah,
know.
that's right.
So yeah, any girls I dated after that had kids, I made sure that they knew I was, whether they were into something I didn't give a crap about or not, that I was there and I was interested and everything else.
So
And
you learned from him then.
yeah, oh yeah, I learned that
Yeah.
like maintain a relationship, right? Be positive, right? And
Yeah. Just encourage and embrace whatever your child that you bring into your life is.
yeah,
Accept him for whatever that is and let him be himself and
yeah,
supportive.
yeah,
Right? That's what a good parent should do, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was forced to do how he wanted it, right? And it didn't work for me. So
Was it a safe environment?
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. He was. It was never physically. There was no alcohol and no physical abuse to my mother or anything like that, right? But as an adult, I noticed there was more psychological abuse, like his psychological control, over my mother and stuff like that. And, like, and he just commands and demands, things to be a certain way, and that's how they are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they have to be. And that's, otherwise there's big arguments, and, he has his own temper tantrums over that, right? And it's just, he's the boss, and that's it. That's the way it is, right? You know what I mean? So, and yeah, he earned the main income, but like, that doesn't mean that, in my opinion, that he has a right to be like, the dictator of everything everybody does. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I always fought back against that. It made me more rebellious than normal, I guess.
Yeah. So you were talking about like how you got started, and like basically once you came around like the oil field where cocaine and crack was really predominant. What's your DOC right now? What do you struggle with?
Opiates
Yeah.
are a big one.
So just fentanyl.
Yeah, well, any opiate, right? Like anything, we call it down now because it's not. It's, who knows what you're getting, right? But yeah, it makes you. It makes my body feel no pain, right? And I feel functional, and I'm able to do stuff, And whereas without it, I start to get. I start to get sick, and and that's a horrible feeling, right?
Can
Um,
you describe that?
the feeling of getting dope sick.
This sickness, yeah,
Yeah,
dope sick.
you start off well with the chills, and you'll start feeling your stomach get upset, and you feel like you're gonna crap your pants, and like, just it's just, like, it's getting dope sick is like, it's like a flu with with anything else bad you can add to it, right? And it takes over everything, and you just want it to go away,
Of
um,
course.
right?
Yeah.
So, and yet, it's like being underwater, and swimming for the top of the water, and you can't breathe till you're above water, and you can see the top of the water. You're almost there, and you can't quite get to it. You take one smoke of an opiate, one puff, and it's like, oh, and then then you feel relaxed. You feel normal. You feel like you can function.
Yeah.
You know.
It's just you use it just to feel normal,
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you only smoke it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stay away from the needle. I already got, I'm at least smart enough to know that, I see what people that do needles, they're addicted more to the needle than they are the drug, the pain, that they get from that, and then the relief they get from that, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen,
It does a lot of damage to the body too,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah,
A lot more risk involved, especially living on the streets, man. Like
yeah,
trying to keep everything sterile is almost next to impossible, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And they're, all of a sudden they've made it harder to get safe use,
Supplies.
supplies, yeah. And
When did that happen?
that, as soon as we changed from Trudeau to this new prime minister,
Hmm.
right? He changed everything.
They cut back on everything.
Yeah, everything's
They
changed.
canceled the safe supply, like the Dilly's program, right?
Yeah,
Oats, I think it's
yeah.
called.
Oats.
Yeah.
No. I can still go to Oats, and as long as I want to be on methadone or Suboxone,
Yeah.
and
So that's the deal now.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I just started on methadone again, and you have to go get it every day and go to the pharmacy every day and take that. And
It's
I can
kind of a
function decently with that, but um, you still, it's not the same, right? It's nothing's the same, and you still feel off a little bit no
it's
matter what.
still like a huge portion of your day to go get it every day, especially if you're homeless. Like,
Yeah,
and you don't have wheels, obviously, right? Like,
no,
you just have to
no,
trek yourself in pain and back pain across town to
yeah,
get your treatment.
yeah. Get get
It's such an
get to
inconvenience
get
when
to
you.
where get to where you're going, just to get that little bit there, and then it takes, then you carry on. And what do you do once you've done that? Well, then you go out and find drugs anyways, right?
Yeah, yeah.
you know that's it's either that or what, like, what are my options, right?
Mhm.
Like, I don't really feel like I have many options other than that.
Have
So,
you ever overdosed on fentanyl?
oh yeah, I've
Yeah.
overdosed a few times. I'm smarter than the average, though. I know that, you can die in a heartbeat with that stuff. So I'm trying to be pretty careful with that. But you never know. Every
You're
time's
still taking a risk every time, right?
every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you describe what overdosing feels like?
It doesn't. You're gone. Boom. You don't even know you've overdosed. Um, I know a few dealers that have Suboxone or
Naloxone
naloxone and
is
stuff with
yeah.
them. So they try and help people that overdose. And I don't ever give anybody who's never done it, that asks for it, opiates, like stuff like that. I try not to help people end up in the same place. Um,
Yeah, that's good, man. I mean, it's the last thing you
you
want.
got another smoke, bro?
I do, yeah. Let me get
Boy.
you one. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, so yeah, I don't let people end up on opiates if I can prevent it.
Have you lost friends
Yeah, oh yeah.
to the opioid addiction?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, for sure I have. Thanks, man.
yeah.
Um yeah, no, I have. And that's what's I'm coming to get my stuff there in a sec, man.
Oh, okay. We clean it up right away because I gotta clean it up every 20 days.
Yeah, no, it's just I was just leaving it there just while I was doing this here. Yeah, it's just,
Every day I get a mess to clean up.
yeah. Sorry about that. It's just my bike and my backpack. I mean,
Yeah, it's not really a mess.
not really a mess, but
No.
people make it seem like it's worse than it is.
Fuck, this is where you sleep.
That's
People should be a bit more compassionate, man.
some people are, some people aren't. Some people look at it as a burden, on
Mm.
their day. You know,
Yeah, I don't, like, how do people treat you when they see that you're homeless, man? Like this?
just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, or worse. I mean, I've had people, make the assumption that not even mine, somebody else's. Mine are behind or put away. I try and keep mine cleaned up, but whatever. There's the assumption that people go buying cars and oh, get a job,
People heckle you, shit.
oh yeah, all the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if I got a job, if I managed to get a job, which now that we have a dental program, I might be able to get my teeth fixed, and I might be able to go get a job because if I walked in, even clean clothes and all nice and clean, I'm still missing all my teeth, and people just no, right?
You're still pretty clean cut, man. Like,
I try
you
my best,
definitely, yeah.
but there are days where it's really bad,
Mm.
and you end up really dirty and hairy, and you really look bad, right? Like, happens to all of us, right? Because we don't have access to certain resources.
Where do you sleep at night, man?
Well, anywhere I can that's warm, anywhere I can that's warm, or where um, like where I slept last night, I knew it was going to be warm in the morning, so I stayed there. But it was cold last night. Um, but I have friends. I kind of bounce around to people.
Yeah.
You know,
You ever use some of the services available, like shelters and whatnot?
I'm for some reason I'm not allowed to. I wasn't allowed to stay at the shelter that was here. Haven't been able to stay there for 3 years, and that was because I helped somebody else out who had really bad FAS, and this kid was spray painting some crap on the back of the shelter building, and I took the paint away from him. And then the people that worked there came around the corner right then with me holding the paint. It looked like I said it wasn't me. I even got him to admit that he did it, and they still have never let me come back. And the guy who
Weird.
owns the building has say over who can stay there and who can't, right? The people that work at the shelter have no say over that. So And the guy that owns the building, he has nothing to do with the shelter program other than saying that,
He
no,
collects rent. Yeah.
you know. So yeah, so I've been pretty much roofless for few years now, but they've changed where the shelter is, so they that's I'm gonna
You might have a chance next time
yeah, no, I'm gonna start looking into
for the
that.
winter and shit,
Yeah,
especially, right?
yeah, this winter I'm gonna.
I really hope you do, man. Probably has a big relief on you,
Oh yeah,
especially to stay warm, man.
yeah.
It's fucking cold out
To
here.
be warm at night is it's first and foremost is getting your addiction taken care of, then finding a way to get food, and then to be warm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So what's a typical day look like for you, man?
that is a typical
Yeah,
day,
right?
right?
Yeah.
That's literally it's get your addiction taken care of, find some food, coffee, cigarettes, anything to help you feel a little a little bit more comfortable, and then find a way to get warm.
How do you make money?
I used to do crime, but I've found other ways now.
Just simple shit,
Yeah,
boosting.
yeah, doing just yeah. There's I've got PWD. I'm on PWD, um, for from the government, so I got a little bit of money that comes in every month,
Yeah.
and that usually goes to pay for debts and stuff like that, and other than that, I do things like what my brain allows me to do. Like somebody needs help with something, I help them with it. And I fix things. Or I used to be a mover, so I help people with that. And
Okay.
there's one
Just
particular
any opportunity that
anything that
pops
comes
up.
up.
Hey,
Yeah,
yeah.
but there's no real regular job for somebody like me.
Yeah.
I function during the day. I go about my day doing something. I try and find something to do.
Do you use side at all?
Yeah,
You use side as well?
yeah.
Yeah. Just counter effect
That,
the sedative effect.
no, well, that sometimes, yeah, and also because I'm sometimes just because I'm bored, really, but mostly just so I can keep going throughout the day without using opiates and nodding off and falling asleep and getting robbed by people.
All over the
I have
place. Yeah.
lost I've lost everything so many times. You know.
Is there like a trauma like experience that you want to share about living on the streets? The shit that's happened to you, man. Like,
I mean, other than getting chopped up by a machete or getting piped in the face while you're asleep or stuff like that, those traumas, they really suck. Wake up to steel pipe to the face, right? That was no
that's
fun,
fucked.
right? And then same with the machete attack, those things there, and they really bother me, and yeah, I try to let it go, right? And carry on, and
Yeah, but you're more wary forever now.
yeah, oh yeah,
You're more. You have self defense with you, just to maybe help you.
just to keep myself guarded.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what else to tell you, man.
Yeah. Have you ever tried to get clean, man?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I've tried a few times. I'm trying. Going to be trying. Well, I am trying right now. Like I've got to go across the street to Shoppers Drug Mart and get my methadone, and then from there, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going, what I'm
Are
doing.
you on a wait list for treatment at all?
Yeah, I've called a few places, and they want you to detox and this and that, and you have to be on methadone or Suboxone and this and that. And I'm gonna take that route this time. I'm really lucky though. My mother helps me a lot. I'm really lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you still do have like some family members you keep in touch with
yeah,
in your life.
yeah.
Yeah.
None of my brothers really keep in touch with me. All they say is that you can do it, you can quit. That's it. That's all I ever hear. You can quit doing that. You can quit doing that. I had one
It's
person.
just not that simple,
No,
man.
it's not. I had one person tell me, they're like lollipops. If you want to quit eating lollipops, you quit eating lollipops. It's not like that.
Yeah. No. I personally I needed professional help to stop, and I
Yeah,
couldn't stop. And when I did, it was just a brief moment of of sobriety,
Yeah.
I would relapse and then relapse so much harder
Yeah.
than if I had just kept using steadily.
Yeah.
It
And
was really
here,
that point where I surrendered, and accepted that I needed help
yeah.
for me to truly stop. Yeah, just what I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty much where I'm at.
yeah,
I'm headed that direction. So I'm hoping to get into a treatment.
good for you, man. Yeah. Have you ever been in love?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, I had relationships, and um, a lot of times their addiction your addiction follows you, and so does theirs, and you end up going from being in love to having a partner to use drugs with.
Being codependent?
Yeah.
Yeah. You had a recent partner like living on the street?
Not long ago, yeah, I had a girlfriend, but whenever I'd leave, I thought I could trust her, but whenever I'd leave, she'd steal my stuff and go and sell it for dope and stuff like that.
Yeah, that she was struggling too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it could be tough for women out here, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's another
Yeah.
world for them.
That's they got it. They're out there selling their bodies and stuff like that, and they don't want to. And a lot of them take pride in it. They don't. But what are they doing when they're not? They're doing something else, right? So.
They have to. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
What's something that you wish people would understand about addiction and homelessness?
That well, that it's there, that it's there, and it's not really a choice. It's not a choice. It's just it's become a way of life. They call it an epidemic, but it was always there before. It was just in the closet before, right? People weren't as open about it as they are now. So I wish people would understand that it's not just get a job and get a life. Well, like it's not that simple. It's not that easy, right? If you have a job and a life, you spend your money on stuff, right? So you're still in debt, and no matter what, you either live a good life under a roof of a house and have a truck and a car and this and that, but you're still broke. You're still working for a living, paying all that off, right? So the same thing as your addiction, right? And I just don't want to be in pain, so it's harder for me to do what I used to do. So I got to do something else. And do I want to? What do I want to do? Well, I don't know. If I found something to do, okay, I got to go to school for that. If I found a way to get education for that, then I got to do that. But I still got to maintain the ability to function during that, right?
Hmm.
And that's where things are hard. So it's just the hardest part is being able to get through a day functioning, and you have to do it with opiates. Like you have to, when you're addicted to opiates, you have to.
Hmm. What's something that you're proud of your life?
Ah, that I'm still alive, and that
Yeah, you're a survivor,
yeah,
man.
and
That's for sure.
yeah, and that I've been able to help a lot of people stay alive, and and I try and be a positive influence on people that aren't addicted to what I'm addicted to, that want to try it. I try and tell them not to. I that's stuff I'm proud of. You know, proud of when I'm having a good day and I'm clean and I'm happy. I'm proud of that. Right?
Hmm.
That's all you can be proud of, really.
Yeah. What do you wish for the future?
I don't know. I don't think too far into the future because I'm stuck thinking of right now. Right?
Yeah.
And I live right now. Right? So but my the thing for my future is I do want to get off this stuff. But what am I going to do? Like it's still a big black spot. Like what do I do if I get once I'm off this stuff? You know, um, I'm I don't know. I don't know what my future holds. So
What would you say to someone who's just starting down this path?
Yeah. I try and tell them not to. I try and tell them to at least get an education and get a job, and yet that's what everybody else says too, right? But like I said before, once you get that job and everything else, you still end up in an environment where there's addiction and drugs. So I don't know, and like it seems like that's all everybody does. It's everybody's doing something that gives them the ability to maintain their addiction, no matter what it is, no matter what their addiction is. So that's that's a hard one.
I just have like two more questions left, man. That's kind of a closing
Okay.
for the interview. Um, Hearing about your story, what do you want someone watching this to take away from it?
Um, if you're gonna have an addiction, try and have one that you can control. one that doesn't take over your life. Like because you're gonna have an addiction of some sort. Like I said, like people are addicted to like shopping, like we were talking about.
Mhm.
Even stuff like that. Like I don't know. You know, it, I don't know. Never thought of that, but I would tell people, stay positive and just do whatever it is that makes you happy. Really,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you had three wishes, what would they be?
One would be that my family would be a little more understanding to what I'm going through. Um, that I wish I would have been able to get to see my father before he died. He was in a different town, and that I had enough money to have a roof over my head that was constant. You know, that'd be it. You know, a roof over my head and a vehicle. Just so I can get around. But other than that, I don't wish for anything, over the top. I just want to live like a decent life. Doesn't mean I'm gonna stop being an addict, but I just want to live a decent life.
Mhm.
You know, if I could have that, I think I'd be a lot happier.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your
Yeah,
story,
no
man.
worries, man. I don't mind at all. You caught me just as I was waking up, so I'm still a bit fuzzy, but
You're all right, man. Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really nice to meet you, man.
yeah, same.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thanks for the
Yeah.
cigarettes too. Like that's just that's having that in the morning it helps.
Stay safe out here, man.